सदाशिव समारंभाम
सदाशिव समारंभाम
शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम
शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम
अस्मदाचार्य पर्यंताम
अस्मदाचार्य पर्यंताम
वंदे गुरु परंपराम
वंदे गुरु परंपराम
वसुदेव सुतं देवम
वसुदेव सुतं देवं
कंस चाणूरमर्दनम
कंसचाणूरमर्दनं
देवकी परमानंदम
देवकी परमानंदं
कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरुम
कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरु.
Hari Om. So today we are going to start a new chapter, which is Karma Yoga. So as I said last time, finishing second chapter, which is Gyan Yoga, and also it's called Sankhya Yoga, is a milestone by itself. The second chapter, which is Karma Yoga, is like another milestone. So before we get to second chapter, let's just quickly read the last slok of, third chapter, second chapter, and read the last part of the end part of the second chapter, and then we go to third chapter. So last slok of second chapter, which is Sankhya Yoga or Gyan Yoga. Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partha.
Esha Brahmi Sthiti.
Yeah. Nainam Prapya Vimuyati Sthitva Asyamant Kalepi Brahma Nirvana Richati. So Bhagavan is saying, hey Arjun, यह ब्रह्म को प्राप्त हुए पुरुष की स्थिति है. इसको प्राप्त होकर वो मोहित नहीं होता है और अंत काल में भी इस निष्ठा में स्थित होकर ब्रह्मानंद को प्राप्त हो जाता है. Well, you can read the English part.
This is the state of Brahm, O Partha. Attaining this, none is deluded. Being established therein, even at the end of life, one attains oneness with Brahman.
Yeah, so we saw last time Bhagavan said this is Stitha-Pragya, who is a Gyani. Right? That's what he is. And this person, when you reach that state of Stitha-Pragya, we'll see in a minute what is the definition of a Gyan Yogi. So Bhagavan, and then in the previous 14 or 15 shlok, Bhagavan has defined his 17, 18 shlok, Bhagavan has defined the characteristics of this Stitha-Pragya person. And the Stitha-Pragya means he's free from the bondage, all kind of bondage, especially the bondage when we talk in terms of Bhagavad Gita or Adhyatma. It is the material things bind us. So this person is, because to this person that Gyan is always available. Sthit means established. Pragya means that knowledge or Gyan or awareness. And once you reach this stage, Bhagavan says, then you will never get deluded more. And the whole problem is more. Arjun ko bhi tha aur humko bhi sabko hota hai. And that's the reason Bhagavad Gita is relevant, because the more comes back and back. So Bhagavan says, once you reach that, and that level, that very classical Bhagavan at the end, he says, Antakale api. I mean, he's not saying just Antakale means, we saw last time, it is not just the death of body. Every emotion, every thought has a beginning and end. So we get disturbed by the thought. So we can take in that sense, practical sense, that in the beginning of the thought or emotion and the end of the thought or emotion, this person or I'm not disturbed, then I'm a Stitha-Pragya. Which which happens to most of us, that there is a thought starts, and then at the end of the thought, if the result is not favorable, or if I'm kind of agitated, then at the end my pragya is gone, that the whole knowledge available to me is gone. So I'm not a Stitha-Pragya. So both sense we can take. One is at the end of the life also, and as last time we say that there was a survey done by nurses that what people are saying at the end of the life. And most of the responses that they are remembering some events in their life which are significant and which have made impact on their lives. अरे हम लोग भजन गाते हैं कि आखिरी में जब मेरा शरीर छूटे तो भगवान याद आना, सभी भाषाओं में, हिंदी, गुजराती, मराठी, तमिल, सब परंपरा में एक ही भजन गाते हैं कि मैं जब मेरा अंत समय आया तो भगवान मुझे राधे को साथ लाना, जब जब प्राण तन से निकले, इस तरह के बहुत भजन है। लेकिन वो सब कुछ नहीं आता याद. द सर्वे इज ट्रू ऑल्सो. वो याद आता है कि वो आई हैड सम स्टॉक इन माय अकाउंट, और आई हैड some grudge with someone, and all those things will come into. So भगवान says कि ये अगर स्थित प्रज्ञ, if you reach to that, then ant kale api, at the end of the life also, you will be peaceful. And there is a book, it's not available, no more available, and the book is called, very small book, it is 15 pages, and I have one copy, luckily, very old. I read it many times. The book is called Vinoba and Death. Vinoba Bhave was Gandhiji's disciple, and actually more than Gandhi's disciple, he was a Gita student for life. Practically he lived Gita, and the book describes how he left the body. I have never seen in my life. I have seen some people leaving the body very close, including our family members, and I have never seen somebody leaving body like Vinoba. He was completely aware, and he told that मेरे जाने के बाद no morning in the ashram, कुछ नहीं, सब नॉर्मल चलना चाहिए, क्योंकि विनोबा तो जा ही नहीं रहा. The Atma Swarup Vinova doesn't go. The body goes. That's ये तो हम पढ़ ही रहे हैं गीता में. And it is documented that somebody recorded that he was there. He wrote that book, Vinova and Death, that he was lying and looking at the ceiling as if he is looking at Vitthal. Vitthal means Bhagwan Krishna. And smiling, Vinova left the body. That is Bhagwan is saying. Antakale api. कोई मोह नहीं. Delusion means again delusion हो जाएगा कि अरे मैं कौन हूँ, क्या है ये संसार. And that's what. So that is Stitha-Pragya. And that's where the second chapter ends, which is called Sankhya Yoga or Gyan Yoga. We'll talk about that when we go to third. So I'll read the last Shlok, and at the end of every chapter, Vyasji or our other acharyas added, not Bhagwan Krishna, added a Shlok which is common to all. The purpose of, I think, they're reminding what are you reading. So that's what they are doing. So we'll read that. ओम तत्सदिति. सबकी बुक में होता है, नहीं होगा तो ऐसा होना चाहिए. एवरी संस्कृत बुक हैज दैट. ओम तत्सदिति श्रीमद् भगवद गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्म विद्यायाम योग शास्त्रे श्री कृष्णार्जुन संवादे सांख्य योगो नाम द्वितीयोऽध्यायः. That means the second chapter is ending, and what is, every chapter has the same thing, only thing is chapter name changes. Om Tat Saditi. Om Tat Sat is Bhagwan's name. We will see in the 17th chapter the description of this. So Om Tat Sat is all Bhagwan's name. Om, we know that Om is Bhagwan's name. Tat means which is beyond the perception of senses. Bhagwan is there, but ऐसा नहीं कि हम हाथ से छू लेंगे. Bhagwan is beyond the perception of bodily senses. Anything which we perceive is not permanent. It's material. And Bhagwan is so, and then Bhagwan is Sat. Sat means ever existing, eternal, which is never changing. So Om Tat Sat is Bhagwan's name. Then he says, Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu. Bhagavad Gita is Upanishad. On Upanishad means there is a long definition, but in short, Upanishad is a teaching which removes the confusion or the grief or the delusion. That is Upanishad. That is a book. Any book which removes the grief or ignorance or delusion is Upanishad. And there is a whole definition, Upanishad. And then Bhagavan says, Brahma Vidyayam. What is in Bhagavad Gita? What is in this Upanishad? Upanishad is in the Upanishad, Brahma Vidya. And what is Brahma Vidya? That is Gyan. That's the goal of Bhagavad Gita. Brahma Vidya is the goal. And what is that? That we are part of that Brahman, or in the end, we are that Brahman. That's it. And that is called a philosophy, people call it, or darshan. Darshan is philosophy. And that is the darshan that at the end, and that's what Bhagavan told Arjun 11 to 30th Shlok, that you are not Deh, you are the Dehi, which is nothing but Paramatma or Brahman himself. And that is Brahma Vidya. That's what the goal of reading the Bhagavad Gita. And then Yoga Shastra. Yoga Shastra means a tool, a sadhan. So here is a goal. How to reach the goal? Yoga Shastra. And that's a tool, or that is a sadhan or means to reach the goal. So Bhagavad Gita is a Yoga Shastra. Bhagavad Gita is a book. There are a lot of philosophical books written earlier than Bhagavad Gita and even after that. But that will just talk about the philosophy. That, oh, this is the philosophy. But how do we use it in my life? Many books may not have given. Or not that simple way that Gita is given. That's why it is Yoga Shastra. It tells you how to use that Brahma Vidya or Brahma Gyan in your life. That's what Bhagavan is telling Arjun, and that's what we should do that too. So that's where the chapter ends. So we'll start the third chapter, which is Karma Yoga. So typically we all see that आप कहीं भी जाइए तो बहुत लोग बात करते हैं. Though there are two popular terms people use, Gyan Yoga and Karma Yoga. Gyan Yoga and Karma Yoga. Bhakti Yoga आता है, we'll talk separately. But mostly, and some everybody says Gita teaches Gyan Yoga and Karma Yoga. But I like the Gyan Yoga of Bhagavad Gita and say I like the Karma Yoga of Bhagavad Gita. Very common. ये चलता रहता है. कोई बोलेगा कि मेरे को कर्म योग इसलिए सुनीता विलियम्स टू गीता टू स्पेस सैटेलाइट में लेके शटल में लेके गई थी स्पेस में. Then somebody asked her, why did you take it? Oh, I like this book because it teaches me how to perform my karma in a better way. So karma yoga. कोई को पूछेंगे तो बोलेंगे, oh, Gita provides me that aham brahmasmi tattvamasi. That is Gyan yoga. So there is always two types of people, and they say there are two types of people. That's why they like. Somebody will like Gyan yoga, somebody will like karma yoga. And my own study, I mean, it's not that everywhere it is given. मैंने खुद थोड़ा study करके, and my own analysis is also there, which I'm going to share. So there are two things, Gyan and Karma. So Gyan means a doubtless state where the doubts are gone. And if we, at last Shlok, Arjun said, he said, Gata Sandeha. After listening to your discourse, Bhagavan or Shri Krishna, my doubts are gone. So one thing, and Gyan means doubtless or zero doubt. That's a state. But we all know that. I mean, I know that anger is bad for me. I know that sweet is not good for me. I know that being awake the whole night and is not good for me. I know that, right? And I practically I have realized that it is correct, but I still do that. So I have the Gyan, and I know that, and it is true also. There's no doubt in that. So the doubt is gone, Gatsan, doubtless knowledge. But that knowledge is not all the time available to me. I know that angry, and I should not get angry. I know that I should not eat. I still do that. So that's where the problem is. And when the knowledge is all the time available, you become a Stitha-Pragya, and that is Jnana Yogi. So having Gyan is one thing, but having that Gyan available all the time in all the situations, then you become Gyan Yogi. So that is Gyan Yogi. That is Sankhya. Now we are going to third chapter, which is Karma. We'll go into detail, but in simple terms, Karma is an activity performed by an actor is Karma. An activity performed by an actor is Karma. Activity means Kriya. Sanskrit, the word is Kriya. So Kriya, and a simple example of Kriya is that if I put my car into cruise, and now the smart cars are there, right? And that's the smart, we should be smart, right? And the smart car is on cruise, and I had it has that lane assist also. So I put on the lane assist cruise, the car is moving. And if some truck comes, car will not even change the lane. And if there are front, and I can set the distance that after it should stop at 2 cars. If there are 2 cars in the front, car will stop. Everything is, I'm just sitting there. So the kriya is happening without an actor. The moment I put by mistake my foot on the brake pedal or the gas pedal or steering, the cruise is off. Now the actor has come into picture. Now that is a karma, because now I am responsible. By that time, car was doing on its own, right? But the moment I start playing the game and I become, so that is called karma. Same thing in life at higher level. That's what Gita says, that guna guneshu vartantu. And we'll see that 14th chapter is all about guna. Everything is happening because of the gun. We have Satugun, Rajogun, Tamogun. Yeah, there is, of course, a sadhan. That's the reason we are reading. But things are happening on our own. Sunrise is happening, the planet is working, our bodies, we sleep, the whole system is working. So automatically everything is happening. But I enter into that. Main kar raha hu. So everything is happening is guna guneshu vartantu. Guna apne aap sab kaam kar rahe hain, lekin I get into that. And then it becomes karma. And then you are responsible. The moment karta comes, whatever result will come, karta will be responsible. And that is called karma. But what is karma yoga? Karma yoga, like same as Gyan yoga, that karta, when he or she has only one interest in the karma, likes or dislikes. If karma result is favorable, I like the karma. If result is not favorable, I don't like the karma. So the karta has that likes and dislikes, and that is the ignorance. That is a Gyan. The moment we overcome that likes and dislikes, we diffuse or we nullify that, you're still a karta. There is a kriya, and you are a karta. There is a karma is happening, but you overcome the likes and dislikes, diffuse that, and then you become a karma yogi. That attitude, where, so there is a definition of, very beautiful definition. I wrote it, combining many things. When Gyan and karma, they go together, what happens? An action is performed as a guiding principle. Guiding principle means dharma. We here say swadharma. With a disinterested attitude in the phal, in the result. This action, and the action is well thought of. Then it is yoga and karma go together. And then there is a happy life. So that's why when we read, now we are going to read 3rd chapter. So Gyan and karma, they go together, and then everything is done. Then there is no problem. So Gandhiji has written in his commentary on the Gita, he said, if you cannot read the entire Bhagavad Gita, it is written by Gandhiji. Even if you read chapter 2 and 3, one is just the platform. You know Gita, you know everything, because 2nd and 3rd chapter, everything is done. Gyan and karma. Everything is built on these. The higher level explanation or more detailed. But the 2nd and 3rd chapter, because karma and Gyan, these are two things, Gyan and karma. And that's why people say, oh, I'm Gyan yogi, I'm karma yogi. But the confusion which Arjun will have when we read the Shlok, and all of us have, that there are 2 different things. They are not 2 different things. And as I said, the definition which I created, they are one. And one means the action which is performed with the attitude of not interested in the result, not in the karma. Karma I do with full potential, but the phal, a thoughtful action, is actually karma yoga and Gyan yoga together, and that's a goal, right? So yeah, we'll go into that karma yoga. But just one more thing before we get into karma yoga. Why this thing is happening? Like, why we are reading this chapter? Why these 2 chapters are very critical? Why all the time people say I'm a karma yogi or I'm a Gyan yogi, or they put it, but we'll see at the end there is no or there. So the reason is that because when the Mahabharata, and this is all historical, but it is very important for us to know that when the Mahabharata war happened 5,000 years ago, that time Bhagwan in the entire Bhagavad Gita has never said that this is better, do this. Bhagwan is telling all. So that time there was no karma yoga, Gyan yoga, bhakti yoga. That was, I can say that was a Purna Yoga, complete. Bhagwan gave the total picture. But what happened when Bharat, after Mahabharat, next 3,000 to 4,000 years after Mahabharat, Bharat was in a very good state. That's why people used to come to Bharat. उसको जो सोने की चिड़िया बोलते थे तो ऐसे ही नहीं बोलते थे. Bharat was like a सोने की चिड़िया. The life was comfortable. It was like affluent country. Everybody has everything. So when you have everything, you don't get into a lot of things which is not happening because everything is so comfortable. Typically it happens when you are comfortable life, you think more or logical or philosophy. So क्या हुआ वो जो 4,000 साल थे, like 3,000 साल महाभारत के बाद, lot of scholarly, you look at Mahavir, Buddha, Shankaracharya, or both, I mean, we know these people, but there were many of them, Kumaril, but a lot of scholars were born in that 3,000 years ago. And they were all thinkers. So Gyan Yoga खूब चला. So that time everybody said, oh, Gita has a Gyan Yoga, Gita has Gyan Yoga, because they were not interested in that time even Bhakti or Karma. Because Karma तो अपने आप सब हो रहा था. Bharat was such a wonderful country, everything. That is one reason the Gyan Yoga was very popular. So हम लोग जो commentary पढ़ते हैं, including Shankaracharya and many even current scholars who follow Advaita Vedanta, they always talk about Gyan. In fact, they say that Karma is required for Gyan. Karma is a step into Gyan, which is fine. I mean, their thought. I'm not, but I'm giving the total picture. They're right or wrong, we're not analyzing. Then after, when invasion started in India, around 1000 current era, a lot of invaders came. That time, India was in a different shape. India was not the same Bharat. वो जो सोने की चिड़िया था. Bharat was in very bad shape. That time, the Bhakti movement started around 1100. The whole Bhakti movement, that Ramanujacharya and Vallabhacharya, all those people came. And Bhakti movement, so that time, whatever Gita translation you see, oh, Bhakti is, Bhagwan is, like Gita is teaching Bhakti. Gita is teaching Bhakti. So the Bhakti movement and what we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and in fact Prabhupada, the movement is all about Bhakti because that came during that time. But all these people were either scholar, Shankaracharya or Buddha or Mahavir or Kumaril Bhatt or Ramanuja, or either they were sannyasis, some or Bhakt, like Sant. The turning point came, which I like personally. That's why this third chapter is. The turning point came when the two people came, when India was under British rule. That foreign invaders, Mughal invaders were that time, Bhakti was there, nobody even talked about anything. But when British came, and that time two people who made the whole change, Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Mohandas Gandhi. They were not sannyasis. They were not like sadhu or koi ashram run kar rahe. They were not even Vedantis. But both of them were doing the freedom fight. And they said Gita is a tool. And though both of them studied Gita then, it's not just by the hook or by the seat of the pants they're saying Gita is good. Gandhiji read Gita first time when he was 19-year-old, and Tilak read Gita when he was 16-year-old. And the rest of the life, they analyze Gita and say, oh, how Gita can impact my life. And they build their life around Gita principles. And that's why they say, no, Gita is not just teaching Jnana Yoga, Gita is not just teaching, Gita is teaching Karma Yoga. And there was a feeling around the world that time that because of the principle of karma, and Indian mentality or Indian psyche has become like dormant. They don't want to do anything. They are lethargic people. They are lazy people because of कर्म है अपने आप सब हो रहा है. कर्म फल जैसे कर्म करेगा वैसे फल देगा भगवान. कोई ऐसे लोगों ने श्लोक बना दिए, कहीं गीता में ऐसा लिखा नहीं. किसी लोगों ने अपने गाने बना दिए. ऐसे बहुत सारे थॉट है. ये सब भगवान फल देगा. नो, कि भगवान नेवर सेड इन द भगवद गीता कि ऐसे भगवान तो फल भगवान के मैं तो फल देता ही नहीं. इट इज योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. सो गांधी जी एंड तिलक, they brought Karma Yoga into the life. So what we are going to read, of course, we are going to read whatever is given by Gita Press, which is Hanuman Prasad Poddar. Plus we read all the commentaries, right? So Vedanti people. But we have to keep this in mind that, and I personally feel that Gandhiji and Tilak's explanation is more relevant today because it relates to Grahasth, which we are all, and it relates to the one thing which both of them agreed on. Something they didn't agree, but both of them agrees that, if you read my comment today, that, and in this third chapter, Bhagavan is telling Arjun, and he is asking, why should I do karma? We'll see that, read that look. And Bhagavan is saying that for the Lok-Sangrah, even if you have attained the Gyan, now you are Stitha-Pragya, you have no problem, right? Koi kya fark pad raha hai? I mean, you are a Stitha-Pragya, very good. That's why second chapter is done. So Bhagavan says, even you are a Stitha-Pragya, do the karma for Lok-Sangrah, which is universal welfare, which is a greater good. And that's why we say these days, right? काम तो आप करते रहिए, आपको तो आ गया है, लेकिन it may benefit many other people. And in fact, your presence, Stitha-Pragya's presence, will solve the problems. That is Lok-Sangrah. And that's why Bhagavan is saying that Lok-Sangrah, Arjun, you have to work for Lok-Sangrah. Of course, there is a Swadharma ke liye to karna hi hai. Now the second part is Swadharma, because you have a duty assigned. Now you want to run away. You said, oh, abhi Gyan aapne mere ko bata diya, so I can go and just do the dhyan. He said, no, you're responsible. You have Swadharma. Your Swadharma is you are a prince. You are a Kshatriya. You have to protect people. So, and he is so harsh. Bhagavan is said, Swadharma, Arjun asked that, मेरे लिए श्रेयस क्या पूछा था अर्जुन ने, कि स्वधर्म is Shreyas, and then Swadharma Nidhanam Shreya. Even if you have to die fulfilling your Swadharma, that is better than running away and doing a dhyan, sitting somewhere, right? So these two things, entire third chapter will be. I mean, and that I have taken it from Gandhiji and Tilak. I mean, they both have written the commentaries. I read them. I like that they are focused on Karma Yoga. Okay? That's it. So I'll read the statement and then we'll go to read the first slok. So I'll read the statement from Bal Gangadhar Tilak, right? And he says, Karma Yoga is nothing but the method which leads to the attainment of dharma, which is full liberty, or swaraj, because Tilak said swaraj is dharma that time, freedom movement, right? Or material or spiritual glory. So he says Karma Yoga is nothing but the method which leads to the attainment of dharma, which is swaraj at that time, or prosperity. India needs prosperity. We need freedom. And this needs the awareness, learning, which needs Gyan. So Karma and Gyan, they go together. But Karma is more important in that sense. You have to fulfill dharma, but with Gyan. And Gandhiji said the same thing in a little different method. He says Karma Yoga is a method of work in which the true knowledge must express itself in act of selfless service. Wow, what a powerful statement, right? He's saying you have to use that knowledge what you have. And Gandhiji's favorite part was Stitha-Pragya. He used to read his Stitha-Pragya twice a day. So morning prayer, evening prayer. And he is saying that Stitha-Pragya, whatever knowledge you have, must express itself in the selfless service. And of course, they do what both Tilak and Gandhiji did. They left everything for the nation, for the masses. That's a selfless service. So when we read Bhagavad Gita, we have to, because these two things apply to all of us. We can do like Lok-Sangrah, even if, and especially the Indians or Hindus living in America, we don't have problem of finance. We don't have problem of, like, we are even medically, we have everything taken care. Can we do something which can help in Lok-Sangrah? And Lok-Sangrah many ways. I mean, we are not talking about things, but we can always find ways for the Lok-Sangrah, for the greater good, for helping others. So that's what the whole, with the preface or with that background, we'll read the third chapter. So we'll go to the first slok of third chapter. But I just gave the background why Karma Yoga of Bal Gangadhar, Lokmanya Tilak and Mahatma Gandhi is more relevant than many other commentaries. In fact, Tilak, Bal Gangadhar Tilak written in his commentary, he says that I reject many commentary of many scholars on Karma Yoga. Because they were talking, I mean, they wrote such 1,000 years ago when the Bharat was in a different state. The whole society was in a different state. Now the society is in a different state. So Gyan and Karma has to go together, but Karma is more important for them. So with that, we'll read the first Shlok of third chapter, which is Karma. Arjuna Uvacha. Now Arjuna is asking, after Bhagavan has given him Stitha-Pragya definition, describe what is a Gyan Yogi. Arjuna has a question now. Arjuna Uvacha. Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshava. So Arjuna is saying, हे जनार्दन, यदि कर्मों की अपेक्षा ज्ञान आपकी दृष्टि में श्रेष्ठ है और मान्य है, तो फिर हे केशव मुझे भयंकर कर्म में क्यों लगाते हो?
Arjuna said, O Janardhan, if you consider knowledge superior to action, why then do you, O Kesava, engage me in this terrible action?
Yeah, so Arjuna is asking that in the second chapter पूरा स्थित ज्ञान योग था, स्थित प्रज्ञ बता दिया भगवान ने, and Arjuna says कि अब स्थित प्रज्ञ हो गया, you are done, you don't need anything. Then why are you telling me to? Because the second chapter, in the middle, Bhagavan talked about the fundamental of, we saw that, right? Famous Lok, Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. He talked about karma in the middle of Gyan Yoga, right? And then he used the word, right? Tasmat yuddhaya or Parth means get up and fight. Uttishta Arjun yuddhaya katnishchaya. So he told Gyan in the middle, he told about karma. ये युद्ध तो तेरे को करना ही पड़ेगा. So Arjun is asking, जब ध्यान से ही काम चल सकता है, आप बता रहे हो कि the ultimate goal is Tattvamasi, and I can realize, then why are you putting me in this karma? That is the confusion Tilak says that majority people had. They said, oh, ध्यान से जब हो जाता है या भक्ति से सब हो जाता है, तो फिर कर्म की क्या जरूरत है? भगवान सब करेंगे. And Tilak and Gandhi ji both, and I like that. They said, no, hold on. Krishna never said that. या अपना interpretation हम लोगों ने कर लिया. जैसा होता ना कि हम लोग, see, and it is all, human mind is very smart. When I go and watch something, I take my meaning out of that. That's a human nature. हमारे स्वामी जी बताते हैं कि वो he used to give the Gita classes, and उस Gita classes में he used to ask some youth. It was a Gita class for youth. So he said, make notes. Okay, so you write down. And the young people used to make notes. So one time he said, he saw the notes, कि क्या लिखा है देखते जरा. So one of the youth, and he was talking about the sannyas के बारे में कुछ था, कर्म sannyas chapter आएगा. So he said, the renunciation provides you happiness in life. Renunciation means sannyas से आपको आनंद आता है. So he said, renunciation provides, and multiple times he used renunciation provides moksha. And then he saw the notes. वो लड़के के notes, some young boy. So he wrote, remuneration provides happiness in life. And it is true, right? कोई young आदमी के लिए तो संन्यास की जगह उसको remuneration ही दिखेगा यार, पैसा मिलता है तो. So you get your meaning out. So अर्जुन ने भी उसमें से अपना meaning निकाल लिया. इसीलिए बहुत सारे लोगों ने कि भाई ज्ञान और भक्ति हो गई तो कर्म की क्या जरूरत है, भगवान सब करेंगे. नो, कृष्ण नेवर सेड दैट. अभी बोलेंगे कृष्ण भगवान. तो अर्जुन भी वही बोल रहा है, escape. See, and we always find escape, right? He's saying, for example, now that the whole thing is going on in the world, right? So much of violence going on, war is going on. Some people don't take this stand. They say, well, no. Now Bhagavan is saying, no, take this stand. Take the stand of dharma. Otherwise it's easy ना, ध्यान करके आप हिमालय में बैठ जाओ, क्या प्रॉब्लम है? दुनिया जलती रहे तो जलती रहे. And Krishna is not like that. So तिलक, बाल गंगाधर तिलक जी ने अपनी बुक में बहुत अच्छा लिखा है कि while you are reading Gita, you are forgetting Krishna. You have to keep the character of Krishna in mind while reading the Bhagavad Gita. What he did, read Gita based on his character, not just your understanding. कि मुझे अच्छा क्या लग रहा है, मैंने पढ़ के कर्मयोग मुझे अच्छा लगता है तो मैं तो कर्मयोग, गीता का कर्मयोग मुझे ठीक लगता है. कोई गीता का, no, read Krishna first and then you will understand Gita. Otherwise you will never understand Gita. Arjun को जो हुआ, he is confused. So he is asking कि क्यों लगाते हो? Let's read the next sloka. And he is saying, व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धिं मोहय सीव मे तदेकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयो अहमाप्युनाम, इसलिए आपके मिले हुए वचन से मेरी बुद्धि मोहित हो रही है, और इस बात को निश्चय करके कहिए कि मेरे लिए सही क्या है, कल्याणकारक क्या है, और जिससे मैं कल्याण को प्राप्त हूं। एक बात मुझे बताइए, ही इज सेइंग,
With an apparently perplexing speech, you confuse, as it were, my understanding. Tell me with certainty that one way by which I may attain the highest.
या सी सेम विच सेकंड चैप्टर का 7th श्लोक, which is a prarthana. I read that time also Bhagavan Arjun asked that yat shreyas syat nishchitam bruhi tanme, what is best for me, not like or dislike, you tell me. That is the 7th श्लोक. Same thing he is saying कि you tell me what is I mean, now karma gyan karma yaga, I'm confused, like, because you are giving the contradictory or mixed statements. So tell me what is Shreyas. Again, Arjun has asked Shreyas, and that is the quality of a student. Because Arjun has already said, we should look for the Shreyas, not कि अभी क्या अच्छा है. Yeah, अभी अच्छा है, but अभी जो अच्छा है उसका ultimate goal is क्या है? Is it a greater good? Shreyas? And that's why Arjun is a smart student. That's why he's getting the right answers. But many times, if you don't ask the right question, then you don't get the right answer. So he is good. He is smart. So he says, मुझे एक चीज निश्चित करके बताइए, confirm that which is good for me. So we'll read Bhagwan's answer. One श्लोक we can read. We have 10 minutes, right? Shri Bhagwan Uvacha. बहुत बढ़िया उत्तर है. I mean, this is the perfect answer we can find anywhere. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha. लोकेस्मिन् द्विविधा निष्ठा पुरा प्रोक्ता मया नघ, ज्ञान योगेन सांख्यानाम कर्म योगेन योगिनाम। हे निष्पाप अर्जुन, इस लोक में 2 प्रकार की निष्ठा मेरे द्वारा पहले भी कही गई है, ज्ञान योगियों की ज्ञान योग से और कर्म योगियों की निष्काम कर्म योग से। And there is a commentary which we'll discuss. Yeah.
The blessed Bhagwan said, in this world there is a twofold path, as I said before, O Anaga, the path of knowledge for the Sankhyas, the contemplative, and the path of action for the yogis, the active.
Right. So Bhagwan, now his question was that which is better, which is the best choice. So Bhagwan is पूरी गीता में जहाँ भगवान ने उत्तर दिए, he gives what is right, not so now Bhagwan is not telling you the choice. He's saying it, in a way he's saying choiceless. You go to doctor and doctor prescribes that this is antibiotic and you have to take vitamin or B complex with antibiotic. You cannot ask doctor, can I take B complex? Just say no. You take the both together. There's no choice in this. I'll take one medicine. No, they go together. So here Bhagwan is not answering his choice kya hai. Arjun's question was कि मेरे लिए choice है. Indirectly Bhagwan is saying there is no choice here. Both are required. And that's what when Gandhi ji और तिलक की जो definition है, both are required. In their definition, I mean, those Gandhiji and Tilak were true sense में Gita scholars, true sense. I understand like सन्यासीज होते हैं, इसलिए मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ गीता गृहस्थ का शास्त्र, क्योंकि सन्यासी जब बताता है तो उसको वो अनुभव एक्सपीरियंस नहीं होता है जो गृहस्थ की समस्या है, वो he or she can translate very well. I mean, they are a scholar, they are meditated, they are the philosophers. But the practical problem which Grahasth has, which Arjun is having now, mere kaka, mere mama, and the pressure Arjun has of his wife. She said, no, you don't come back without Dushasan's arm. Now there is a pressure behind it. Because mother also, even Kunti told, Krishna ko jab ja rahe the, Krishna Kunti ne bola tha, Krishna, you go and tell my sons that the day has come where a Kshatrani gives birth to a son. This is the day. They have to prove that they are my sons. Arjun has a pressure कि माँ भी बोल रही कि भाग के नहीं आना, वाइफ भी बोल रही है और ये सब सामने रिश्तेदार खड़े. That's what we all face as a grahast. We face this dilemma in life, right? The situations come, and that's what Arjun is the right person to ask this question, and Krishna is the right person to answer this question. And that's the reason Tilakji and Gandhiji and Bal Gangadhar Tilak were the right people to analyze Karma Yoga, because they were in the midst of that situation. They are solving the problem for 300 million people. So there is a dilemma. What should we do? And that's what is a Karma Yoga is best. So Bhagwan is saying that मैंने दो प्रकार का बताया है, लेकिन next श्लोक में we'll read one more श्लोक, but it's a few more minutes, right? So fourth श्लोक, right? Bhagwan is saying न कर्मणाम अनारंभात नैष्कर्म्य पुरुषः अश्नुते न च सन्न्यसनातेव सिद्धिम समधिगच्छति. भगवान is saying मनुष्य न तो कर्मों के न करने से निष्कर्मता को प्राप्त होता है और न कर्मों को त्यागने मात्र से भगवत साक्षात्कार को प्राप्त होता है.
Not by abstaining from action does man gain actionlessness, nor by mere renunciation does he attain perfection.
See, exactly the same thing which Gandhiji and Tilakji saying, that they go together. And I wrote my own definition that action is performed as a guiding principle, swadharma, right? Action is performed as a swadharma with disinterested in the karma phal attitude. The attitude of not in the karma, I am 100% in the karma, but not in the phal. And then well thought of. Well thought of means that भगवान जो कह रहे हैं इसमें कि समझ के जो करना है. So that's what. So this shlok, so we'll say. So Bhagavan says karmanat anarambhat means Arjun says I don't want to do this yuddha, and we may find situation that I don't want to do because this is a difficult and unpleasant situation I am in. So I would rather not do it. And Bhagavan says no. If it is a sadharma, swadharme nidhanam shreya. Swadharma mein to agar marna bhi pade Arjun, so that is best. You are asking for the shreya, that is your shreya. So he's saying karmana anarambhat nashkarma ashnute. See, not by not doing an action, you don't reach to the nishkam. You don't reach that. It's like वो आलसी लोग जो होते हैं ना, like they figure out कि कुछ नहीं करना उनको, right? So they'll just have some logic. एक आदमी था बहुत आलसी, तो किसी ने पूछा यार मैं तुम्हें कभी देखता ही नहीं कुछ काम करने के लिए. Yes, पूरे समर में you are sitting outside, right? So what do you do? He said, I wait for winter. Okay, but winter में I don't see you do anything. What do? I wait for summer. लॉजिक तो नहीं करने वाले के लिए तो सब लॉजिक है. तो अर्जुन वही करना चाह रहा है कि मैं भाग जाऊं किसी तरीके से. भगवान से कि नो, उससे कुछ नहीं होना है. उससे और संन्यास लेने से भी कुछ, खाली इफ यू आर सेइंग आई वांट टू बी सन्यासी, संन्यास से भगवत साक्षात्कार सिद्धि को प्राप्त हो जाएगा, वो भी कर्मों के त्यागने से नहीं होना. डोंट थिंक कि जस्ट कर्म त्याग किया. तो भगवान साक्षात्कार अगर करना है, भगवान का सच्चिदानंद स्वरूप का आनंद लेना है, only one way is that you have to do together. Gyan and karma have to go together. Then only. So I'll read couple of karma yoga ki paribhasha and then we'll close for today. We'll continue with next time. So karma yoga, there are a couple of definitions of karma yoga based on what Bhagwan is saying here. So one is karma yoga is a method of neutralizing the likes and dislikes. See, the problem is there are three things in karma yoga. There is a karma, there is a karta, and there is a karma phal. So there is a kriya, as we said in the beginning. The kriya is automatic happening, but then when there is a karta, it becomes karma, and then is a karma phal. Now, karta has that liking and disliking. Then the karta will, if it is the phal is favorable, then karta has liking, not favorable, dislike. And that's where the one that likes and dislike makes you part of the karma, the whole, and it binds you because you are bound by the result. अब अगली बार आप कर्म करने जाएंगे तो based on the result you will do that. So you are bound, and that's called बंधन, right? कर्म बंधन इसको बोलते हैं. So the definition कर्म योग क्या है? The making that binding action non-binding. That is Karma Yoga. How do we do that? Overcome the likes and dislikes. As long as we have likes and dislikes, and likes and dislikes bring ahankar, ego. And we know, I mean, I don't have to describe about ego. Every छोटे छोटे बच्चों को पता था ego क्या है. So ego means there is a problem, right? We don't have to go into detail. Ego, सबको समझते हैं ego में क्या problem. Because that likes and dislikes bring the ego, because you are a karta. And ahankar आ गया तो बहुत सारी problem आती है. वो तो we can discuss some other time. So that's one definition. Another definition of Karma Yoga is graceful acceptance. There is a bhakti also involved in this now. A graceful acceptance of whatever comes with the reverence and by cultivating the prasad buddhi. ये हमारे यहाँ बहुत, हम लोग बार बार बोलते हैं प्रसाद बुद्धि. जो प्रसाद होता है मंदिर में जो लेते हैं हम लोग, बचपन से हमारे यहाँ सिखाया जाता है कि just take the prasad. You have no choice in the prasad. You cannot go and say, जो भी पंडित जी देते हैं मंदिर में, you cannot say कि मेरे को ये, छोटे बोल देते हैं हम अपने दोस्त होंगे तो पंडित जी को कि आप ये बादाम की जगह ये दे दीजिए, लेकिन अदरवाइज हमें बचपन सिखाया जाता है प्रसाद just take it and eat it with reverence. We all the Hindus are, and भारत में जो भी होते हैं, we are born with that mindset कि प्रसाद is accepted with reverence, and वो हम धीरे धीरे we grew up with that. So we never have any question about prasad. जैसे ही प्रसाद मिलता है मंदिर में या कहीं भी मिलता है, just take it and eat it and enjoy that. प्रसाद का मतलब ये होता है शांति, उससे आनंद मिलता है, भगवान से आया है. That is called prasad buddhi. So there is a definition which Dayanand ji used to say, Swami Dayanand ji, that graceful, जैसे प्रसाद को gracefully we accept it, accept the karma phal gracefully as a prasad given by Bhagwan. And that is called Karma Yoga. So one is that the attitude, overcoming the likes and dislikes, that makes karma, karta, and karma phal a Karma Yoga. The second part is accept it as a prasad buddhi with reverence. जो भी मिला, सुख आया, we saw that in second chapter of Bhagwan ने श्लोक बताया था, लाभा लाभो जया जयो, right? Or Tulinda Stutirmoni. There are many places like likes and dislikes, favorable. Just accept it as a prasad. Then that becomes Karma Yoga. So, and that is the whole third chapter is about Karma Yoga. So Bhagwan will keep seeing the explanation of Bhagwan there. So again, या तो लोक संग्रह के लिए करो या प्रसाद बुद्धि समझ करो. दोनों केस में you can enjoy the karma. Karma feel won't affect you. That's what Bhagavan is going to tell Arjun. Is the same way Bhagavan is telling Arjun what we are talking about. Different Shlok. So we'll stop here. Dalai Lama wrote a book called Art of Happiness. It's a nice book, some 15-20 years ago. Art of Happiness. And it was joint author. There is some American or some European, I don't remember, but some foreign author was with him. And the book was published and it became blockbuster, New York Times blockbuster in a week or 10 days, 20 days. So this guy went to Dalai Lama, some publisher, and he said, our book has become a blockbuster, Art of Happiness. Millions of copies are sold of this book. There was no reaction on Dalai Lama's face. And this guy was surprised, like millions of copies sold, like it has generated revenue like anything, and Dalai Lama has no expression. So Dalai Lama asked him a question. Yeah, I understand that millions of copies are sold and it has given a lot of revenue, or it has made some dollars also. Did it make anyone happy? Because the book was Art of Happiness. Oh, and this guy said, wow, this is Dalai Lama. Lok-Sangrah. He's not interested in how many copies are being sold or how many dollars the book. Is it making someone happy or not? That is called Lok-Sangrah. And that's what Bhagwan is saying. Arjun, तेरे को ज्ञान भी अगर हो गया है, तो लोक-संग्रह के लिए continue to work. And I'll just stop with a small example. मैं विद्या मंदिर में, I mean, this is my practical experience also here. I go to Vidya Mandir, Hindu Jain temple. मैं पढ़ाता नहीं अभी. I just take half an hour of dharma class. That's it. But then a couple of times I told some young teachers also कि भैया अब मैं तो वैसे भी I'm not interested in teaching anyways now. अभी आप लोग young लोगों को पढ़ाना चाहिए, like, and I can train also. So I go there, like it's almost 2.5, 3 hours I'm there, and they said नहीं, just आप आइए, आप आते हैं तो ठीक लगता है. And I go there, and it has been last 6-7 years I'm not doing anything in Vidya Mandir. एक ही आधा घंटा पढ़ाता हूँ बस, जो भी होता है रामायण है बच्चों को. बाकी 2.5 hours I'm just sitting there, and they say आप आइए. अच्छा, and I feel that's a Lok-Sangrah. Spending 3 hours on a Sunday, not doing anything. I actually literally don't do anything in Mandir. I'm not in part of executive. I have no role in Mandir. The only reason I go there, they say, Sanjay ji, aap aiye. And I go. I feel that's Lok-Sangrah. That's worth spending 3 hours. That's what I learned from Bhagavad Gita. That's a message. And that's what Bhagavan is saying. कि अगर सब ज्ञान भी अगर वो मिल गया है तो भी लोक संग्रह के लिए तो अर्जुन you have to work. And we'll see that shlok will come when we go forward, right? So with that we'll stop. We'll do our dhyan, because that is very important. Because that dhyan helps. That's gyan, and then that helps the karma to become nishkam karma or non-binding karma. So let's do our dhyan and then continue next week with further shlok. So again, sit straight and then slow and shallow breathing. We'll say Om 5 or 6 times, and then the journey starts from gross to subtle, which is from the senses to Atma. That's right. So bring the focus to the tip of the tongue, which is, and that, tip of the nostril, and think of Prithvi, because that element, Prithvi, is a tattva which we realize through the nose or through smell. So keep the focus on the tip of the nostril and the image of Prithvi. Prithvi is, for us, is Bhumata or Bhudevi. Mountain or trees or plants, we can bring the image and just keep the focus on tip of the nostril. Now shift the focus to the tip of the tongue and think of Jal Tattva, which is water. So bring the image of river or fountain, because through tongue we realize or we perceive the water or Jal. And for us, Jal is Varun Devata or Jal Tattva, Jal Devata. Now shift focus to the eyes and bring image of Agni Tattva. And Bhagwan Surya is the best representation of Agni Tattva or Agni Devata. Bring image of Bhagwan Surya in the mind and keep the focus on eyes. Now shift focus to skin and feel the Vayu or air which is around us. And we can feel air on skin, which is a Vayu Devata. And keep the focus on skin. Shift the focus to the ears and think of space. Basically, we can hear some sound when we keep the focus on the skin, and then sound travels in space. So we are in space, space in us, space is outside of us. Now think that I am not this body, not these senses, not this body, not the mind, not the buddhi, intellect. I am that Chaitanya, Sakshi Atma, which is the witness consciousness. We say in English. By doing this, all the senses are slowly shutting down. And when the senses are shutting down, the mind becomes quieter. And the mind becomes quieter, the internal journey inside starts. So I am not this mind, I am not buddhi, I am the Chaitanya Atma. And then Bhagavan says in the Gita, after that, when your mind is quiet, just do a Brahma Vichar. This Gayatri Mantra is the best Brahma Vichar. Play the meaning of Gayatri Mantra when we are saying the Gayatri Mantra. We can say the Gayatri Mantra in mind, right? Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsavituvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Chodayat. So we are saying, Bhagavan, take my buddhi towards you or towards Lok-Sangrah, towards the Nishkam Karma, towards Anasakta Karma. That's what the prayer is. And then Bhagavan says, Yukta Asit Matpara. With that thought, with that state of mind, just be in that position, Yukta Asit Matpara. Keep me in mind, Bhagavan, that divine thought. If mind wanders, just observe the breath and keep this thought again in the mind. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki Jai.